Welcome to Cliff on Cars and Things. I'm Cliff.
Greenhouse bengse moyeni jackpot bengse mnothweni no invite to rangeni cela ubona serve emoyeni.
Many years ago, in the late 90s, a couple of boys over at BMW were bored, so they decided to build a car. I'm sure there was a lot of wine and champagne and beer because the lines they drew of that car turned out to be totally weird. As a matter of fact, this car looked so weird, it was dubbed the clown shoe. Yes, I'm in a clown shoe. Some years passed, the Z3 didn't really do well. Chassis was a bit weak, performance wasn't so great. So the boys over at the M Division decided, let us have a go. They stiffened the chassis, went into the shelves, pulled out the S50 motor from the E36 M3, dropped it into the clown shoe. The Z3M Coupe was born. It's an ugly duckling. But hey, the story of the ugly duckling has been around for centuries and is still told today. And that's why this clown shoe is still here today. And it's not clowning around. BMW Z3M Coupe, or Coupe if you're in South Africa. This is probably the most loved and the most hated and the most misunderstood M car to ever come out of the motorsports division over at BMW. Dubbed the clown shoe. However you look at it, you cannot deny this vehicle. It is outrageously beautiful. Something you'd find in Batman's lair. We have 4 pipes at the back, sitting on narrows and wides, with a wide track at the back, giving it an aggressive stance. The rear view of this car is spectacular. This must be the most beautiful bottom on any car. Let's get in there so you can have a look at that. This boot has got enough space for you to take a weekend away. There's more than enough space for you and your partner to go away for the weekend. Comfortably fit 2 bags in there. Harman Kardon sound system. That is a subwoofer. Up on the roof, you've got some speakers. You got a net. That's to hold your cargo, stop it from going forward when you're at high speeds and suddenly you need to brake. This is South Africa, so you could have a cow running in front of you. Anything is possible. .245 40 17 wide at the back. Many people prefer the Schnitzer rim to this rim, but I think this rim looks great as well on the standard M. Badged M on the dorsal. .225, 45, 17 in the front. Narrows. Oval mirrors. This design cue was carried on over to other M cars in the 2000s. I think the V10 M5 had a similar shaped mirror, so it looks like this vehicle has got design cues which were carried over into the future. Short wheelbase, very short wheelbase. This car still has the perfect ingredients for a coupe. You are seated all the way back, and in front of you is nothing but bonnet and a very small boot behind you. And you are being pulled at phenomenal speeds by this S50 inline motor. Pulled straight out of the E36 BMW M3 and plonked into this small clown shoe size. Let's have a look at the interior. You'd be surprised at how small these doors are. I mean, the door card doesn't even go all the way down. It's tiny. It's a small door. I mean, if you take my hand, look at that. Beautiful seats, beautiful bucket seats, quality leather. The materials used in this car for this age and the time and the year are fantastic. You have got driver, passenger airbag, and you've got airbags on the doors. Beautiful gauges in the center console here. Beautiful. We still have the standard radio from BMW. CD front loader. And then you've got your climate control below that. Below the climate control, you've got your oil temperature, the outside temperature, and a clock. 56,000 kilometers on the clock. That is low mileage for an M Coupe. The vehicle is badged M Coupe on the cluster. So you can see that. It is a late 90s, early 2000s. So you get a very big steering wheel. That too is badged M. I particularly like the headlight switch. It's a round knob which you just turn. One way on, one way off. I think it's really cool. This particular Z3M Coupe belongs to my friend. As a matter of fact, he called me and he said, hey, let's go and have a look at this Z3M and let's see if I should buy it. So we went together. Crazy story, but true story. We got there, the owner of the car threw the keys at us and said, hey, take it for a drive and let me know. My friend was like, okay, you drive the car, you let me know. We got in the car, I drove it, off we went. Man, this car was solid. Huh? Today, 56,000 kilometers on the clock. 56,000 kilometers on the clock. This car is stiff and tight and fresh. If you're ever looking for a good example and a good experience on what a Z3M Coupe feels like, this is the car. This Z3M has the S50 motor pushing out 210 kilowatt. 5-speed manual, beautiful heel and toe, easy shift, short shift, precise shift. This car really is a pleasure to drive. It's easy to drive. big old steering wheel. It is the late 90s, early 2000s, by the way. You don't get any controls in the steering wheel. It's just a steering wheel. The size, I think, is perfect. It's small, but it looks big, but it's just the right size. Feels comfy. Suspension. For an M Sport, it really has a subtle suspension. This car is not too stiff on the road. It is comfortable and it takes the bumps very well. The car is sitting very low on the ground, but performs very well over bumps and doesn't scrape on the ground when you hit bumps. Only when you're going over curbs, yes, then you might scrape the underbelly of the car. But once you're out on the open road and you hit bumps like I'm about to hit right now, it just goes over gently. I once saw on a YouTube video where the chap was driving a ZM3 and he said when he floors it, the nose picks up. I don't get this with this car. I'm not getting it at all. When I floor this car, the Bilsteins shocks are stiff, the springs are stiff, the car doesn't lift up. Yes, the arse sits down a bit, you know, it is an M car. It sits down and it pushes and it throws you into the seat, back of the seat. But no lifting on this one. The vehicle sits on a wider track at the back, the limited slip diff. And that wide track really does help, because if you really hammer this car, it does push hard. No electronic nanny on this car, so you've got no traction control. This is a driver's car. If you want to ever feel what it's like to drive an M on the edge, get into a Z3M. Short wheelbase, wide track, manual shift, and a whole lot of power. You still get that metal sound out of the exhaust pipe as you did with M cars of this era. On the inside of the vehicle, you don't get that sound. You just get a solid a rumble, and it sounds great. On the outside, you get that metal tingy sound that comes out.
Green house banks them more yeni. Jackpot banks them no 20. No invite so wrong yeni. Don't wanna serve anymore yeni. Don't wanna serve anymore.
6,291 worldwide. In South Africa, we were fortunate enough to get the Schnitzer version of the Z3M Coupe. But that's a story for another day. If you've ever driven an E36 M3, then you would know how capable that car is. It's fast and it's capable. So take that recipe, take that DNA and put it into a clown shoe. Small car, short wheelbase. And what you have here is just a circus. It's a circus, it's a riot.
Camera. How's it?